Imagine owning your own TCG card shop and not actually playing any of the games. Well, this is part 4 of a video series where we mod the TCG card shop simulator, and that's currently where we're stuck at. But by the end of this guide, we're not going to be stuck like that anymore. We're going to be able to play the card game. We're going to be able to listen to some Pokemon radio songs. We're going to be able to buy our own house. And to me, the coolest feature, and also by far the hardest one to implement, is we're going to put in a Pokemon emulator. Right here in the shop, you can play in front of your customers. Flex on them with your trainer skills. Being a Pokemon master, just like Ash Ketchum and whatnot. So to get started, head over to the mod called Playable Tabletop Game Purchasable Houses and More. It was made by a fellow named Nate Bag, who was kind enough to actually buy TCG Card Shop Simulator for me, and it's an amazing, super ambitious mod, so if you get a chance, go give him a kudos, man. He earned it. So the first thing we want to do is navigate to the Files tab of this mod, and we want to download the first file in the list. There's also a file download below the first one that makes multiplayer possible through Steam. I just have not gotten a chance to use or test that, so I'm in no way able to make a guide. If you really need my help with it, though, just let me know in the comments, and if I see a few of those, I'll definitely figure it out for y'all. And then once you've got that downloaded, head over to Steam, right-click on your game, go to Manage, Browse Local Files, then extract what we just downloaded. And we're going to do a process that everyone should be very familiar with at this point, which, by the way, if you have not watched parts 1 through 3, this mod will not work. You got to go watch those. Okay, so once it's extracted, go into it, find the Beppin folder, drag and drop it over to your game install folder so it synchronizes with the Beppin that's already there. And if you want the emulator to work, you are going to have to find a ROM. And when I mean a ROM, I mean a legally downloaded and purchased ROM. Don't none of y'all go around pirating and getting me in trouble with Nintendo, okay? We only do legal ROMs here. Anyway, let me show you my legal ROM. It has to have a specific name because the back end of this mod is looking for a specific name. And make sure it is spelled exactly like this and that it's a .gb file. This is your legally obtained ROM, by the way. And once you have it named properly, go into your Beppin folder, go into your plugins folder, go into the Pokemon emulator folder, go into the ROMs folder, and then drag and drop your legally obtained ROM into that folder. And then you can close the File Explorer and launch the game. Fair warning, this mod is very ambitious, but it's not always stable. There will be a few graphical stutters and things like that, but it is 100% playable and will improve the user experience. Anyway, once we're in here, let's go ahead and check out all the new features we just installed. If you walk up to a house door like this, you should see an option to purchase the home. So save up, maybe you can be a homeowner after all. Next, open up the Decorations app on your phone and check out the new posters that got installed with this mod. There's some really cool ones in there. Some of them are actually GIFs, like the Squirtle one. And will have motion when you put them on the wall. It's really cool. Now let's open up our phone again and go to the newly installed Radio app, which will allow us to play Pokemon music from various versions of the game, be it the movies or the TV show or the games themselves. I'm not going to play them here because I'm being sincere when I say this. I do not want any smoke with Nintendo. But they're there. Make sure you turn off the default game music before you play them, or they'll both play at the same time. And it sounds nice. Now let's test out the main event of this mod. Close out of your phone and press F8. That should bring up a UI that allows you to choose your starter deck to actually play the Pokemon trading card game in your shop. So cool. If your dopamine isn't just going through the roof after all of these additions, you're a more stoic person than me. Anyway, let's test out the emulator now. So what you want to do is you want to go up to a copy of Pokemon Blue that's on your shelf and grab it and press R. And if that worked, congratulations, this guide's over. But if it didn't, we're going to have to do some pretty cool computer science stuff to make it work. Because the reason that you're not seeing the emulator when you press R at that moment is because the actual backend is searching for a specific ID along with a specific name. And those IDs are probably mismatched. And we do have the skills to fix this. And it actually is easy. The problem is it's also very, very overwhelming if you've never done anything like this before. But don't fret, I'm going to do my best to explain it. and you are not alone. If you can't figure it out, just reach out to me and I will do my best to help you. The first thing we have to do is download DNSPY, and that's going to help us decompile the C# code so that we can make an adjustment to it to add a logger that will tell us the ID of our Pokemon Blue asset. In simple terms, we're making this number and this number be the same. And to achieve that, the first thing we have to do is go over to the DNSPYEX GitHub page and download the most recent release. For most of y'all, it's going to be the Win64 zip. Go ahead and download that and extract it. And once that's done, go back into Steam and hit the Browse Local Files button to bring up your game install folder. And from there, go into Beppin, go into Plugins, go into the Pokemon Emulator, and you're going to want to right-click the Pokemon Emulator.dll and hit Open With, and choose DNSPY from this list. And when you do that, you should see an application like this pop up. And look for the Pokemon Emulator DLL that we just opened with DNSPY and left click on it. And that should reveal its contents. Find Pokemon Emulator in the list and left click on that, and then click on the plugins. And hunt around until you find the file called Try Start Emulator. Once you find it and click on that, look for the function called Get Held Item Type. And when you click on that, it should navigate you to that function's logic. And then once you're there, right click and choose Edit Method C#. And that will bring up this editor window for you. And the next thing you're going to need to do is go to this GitHub page I made just for you and copy and paste all of its contents and replace the contents of this method with what you just copied. The link for the GitHub page will be in the description. And once you have that pasted in, what you want to do is hit compile. But what's likely going to happen the first time you hit compile is you're going to get assembly errors that show up right here. There's going to be red and yellow ones. Don't worry about the yellow ones. Those aren't breaking anything. The red ones, you're going to have to copy and paste and add to ChatGPT. I won't be able to know what assembly errors you have, but it's super simple. Most of the time it's going to be as easy as coming over and pressing this button and adding, what's a common one? The C# library. But basically just copy and paste the assembly error, ask ChatGPT, what do you need to do to correct it? And it will tell you to add one of these. System maybe, C#. It's going to be one of these, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of them. And if you get stuck on it, please reach out. I'm so happy to help you. I take pride in helping people on their computer science journey. I think it's something we all should know. So, you know, if it gets too frustrating, take a break, reach out to me, and then come back and we'll knock it out together. Once you have your assembly errors taken care of, go ahead and hit compile, then exit out of and hit save on DNSPY. That should implement the new changes. You should be able to launch the game now. We're not quite done, but we're really close if you're at this point. By the way, if this video helped you work with decompiled C# code for the first time in your life, please tell me in the comments. That would make me feel so good about myself and make me feel like I'm being of service. And my game crashed. I bet if I restart my computer and try again, it'll work though. And that totally fixed it. Run up to your shelves and grab a copy of Pokemon Blue. And then look at the console logger, and you should now see the ID of this Gameboy asset. And take note of it. It's very important for the next step. We're really close to the finish line. Exit out of the game, go to your Steam library, right-click on the game, and go to the Browse Local Files option again. Click on the Beppin folder, click on Plugins, go to the Pokemon Emulator folder, right-click the Pokemon Emulator DLL, and open with DNSPY. This is the last time we're going to have to do this. Once DNSPY is open, find the Pokemon Emulator in the File Explorer on the left side. That should open up the DLL file, at which point you're going to want to click on that as well. Click on Pokemon Emulator.data, and that should open up the Gamebox mapping. Click on that, and then inside of the editor, right-click Edit Method C#. And change the number next to PokemonBlue.gb to whatever your console logger told you the ID for that asset was. In my case, it was 200055, but it may be different for you. Hit compile, hit X out of DNSPY, choose save, and it'll implement the changes for you. And you can hit play, and if everything worked as according to plan, you should now have a working emulator inside of your TCG card shop. That's a legal working emulator. Legal ROMs here. Only legal ROMs. Now go grab a copy of Pokemon Blue off your shelves, press R, and you should see this beautiful scientific creation in all of its pixelated beauty, and you can play it seamlessly. You can even save it. Press tab to rotate between the skins, and make sure you press M to mute if the audio is very poppy. It can be a bit of a problem, but I just muted it. We put all that work in to have this, so let's take a moment to celebrate and appreciate it. If you made it this far and this video was able to help you, please let me know in the comments. I really enjoy doing this, and having a little bit of feedback or positive reception really motivates me to keep going. Also, hi, I'm Remy. This is what I look like. If you've been watching this series, you should have noticed at the beginning of every video I started off by talking about if you have a dream for opening a TCG card shop. The Saturday after I release this will be April 4th, and on that day on my Twitch channel, which is called Remy Friend, I will be running a subathon to try to make my dream of owning a TCG card shop a reality. You don't have to spend anything. Seriously. Just stopping by and saying hey means the world to me, and it helps the subathon gain momentum, and it would be something that I would be incredibly grateful for. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Thank you for being a part of this.